My wife, 37F, and I, 36F, have been together for 13 years and have two young children, ages 2 and 3. The first 10 years of our relationship, prior to having kids, were not without challenges, but overall, we were happy and deeply in love. However, after the birth of our first child, my wife experienced intense postpartum depression, which has lingered for years and may still persist. While she loves our children, she has expressed that she hates parenting. Therapy and medication haven't been particularly effective, and our lack of a support network, no one to watch the kids, no breaks for date nights, has only compounded the stress. Over time, I've shouldered a larger share of responsibilities while she has remained stuck in her depression. A year ago, she told me she wanted to pursue a relationship with a married coworker. At first, I was shocked, but since we've always had a somewhat monogamish relationship, I tentatively agreed, thinking it might help lift her out of her depression. However, I later discovered that the relationship had already started before she brought it up to me. What followed felt less like an open arrangement and more like outright betrayal. Over the past year, I've reacted as many hurt spouses might, feeling devastated, asking her to cut off contact with the other woman, and monitoring her interactions. She resisted, saying she didn't want to inconvenience or abandon the other woman. Months of couples counseling, which focused mainly on recovering from the betrayal, didn't yield much progress. Now, my wife has asked for a divorce, saying she resents what she calls my childish response to the situation. She also admitted she hasn't loved me since the birth of our children and wants to embrace a fully polyamorous lifestyle moving forward. This has left me heartbroken. It feels like the life and future I thought I was building has shattered piece by piece. Despite everything, I still love my wife and want to save our marriage. I feel capable of forgiving the past and rebuilding, for the sake of our relationship and our children. I still believe the best life for our kids would involve both parents together. I also worry that divorcing will only bring new relationships with their own imperfections, while leaving us with lingering issues, post-divorce financial struggles, and fractured co-parenting. My question is this: has anyone ever seen a marriage recover from a situation this dire, where one partner is emotionally disconnected, resentful, and actively wants out? I've read about couples reigniting their love after falling out, about how the toddler years can drive couples apart, and about postpartum depression clouding perspective. But I've found little that speaks to recovery when one partner is so adamant about not reconnecting. Is there hope for us? Or do I need to accept that no amount of positivity, patience, or freedom will put this marriage back on track? Right now, I find myself in complete confusion. Every day feels weighed down by uncertainty. I keep doing everything I can to take care of the kids, manage our household, and hold on to the family we've built. But, to be honest, it feels like I'm fighting this battle alone. Internally, I'm constantly torn. On one hand, I desperately want to save our marriage, but on the other, I know I can't force someone to love me or stay if they don't want to. Over the past few months, I've tried approaching the problem from different angles. At first, I thought that maybe giving my wife more space would help her sort out her feelings. I stopped insisting on conversations and tried not to pressure her, but that only created more distance between us. Then, I tried being as supportive as possible, taking on even more responsibilities with the kids and at home, trying to be gentle and understanding. That didn't work either. Instead, she began to view my efforts as another form of control, even though, in my mind, it was a way of showing my love and commitment. When she told me she wanted a divorce, I spent a long time convincing myself it was said in the heat of the moment. I thought she was just overwhelmed and that her depression and dissatisfaction with life were clouding her judgment. But with each passing day, her words sound more resolute, and I'm beginning to realize her desire to leave might truly be genuine. What hurts even more is her admission that she stopped loving me after the kids were born. Those words keep replaying in my mind. I keep asking myself, when did it happen? What did I do, or fail to do? Was there something I could have done differently? Or is it just the accumulated fatigue and stress that she's confusing with a lack of love? Her desire to live a polyamorous lifestyle also leaves me feeling lost. I don't judge her choice. I understand that people are different and everyone has their own ideas of happiness. But deep down, I still hope she'll choose us, choose our family. To me, love, and commitment aren't just about passion or novelty. They're also about shared history, caring for each other, and working together. Yes, we've had hard times. But isn't that all the more reason to keep fighting for what we have? Is it worth throwing it all away just because things are difficult right now? Honestly, I've thought about just letting her go, giving her the freedom she says she wants, letting her live the way she chooses, even if it destroys my dreams of growing old together and having a happy family. But I can't shake the feeling that it would be too hasty a decision. I still believe our future could be bright. At the same time, I know that for that to happen, we both need to work on it, not just me making one-sided efforts. I've tried talking to her about this, about how much our marriage means to me, how I'm willing to put in the effort to rebuild, and how much I want us to work. But she remains cold and distant. She says she's tired of me, of my positivity, of my attempts to fix things. She says it feels like I don't understand how bad she feels. Maybe she's right. Maybe I really can't fully understand what she's going through because I haven't been in her shoes. But I want to understand. I want to be the person who supports her and helps her through it, not someone who, in her eyes, only makes things worse. What scares me most is a future without her. Not only because I love her, but also because I can't imagine how I'll explain to our kids why we're no longer together. How will I cope with it emotionally? I don't want them to grow up in an environment of separation and mistrust. It hurts to think that they'll see us only separately, that their memories of family life will be filled with tension and conflict. I often ask myself, do I even have the right to try to hold on to her? Maybe true love is about letting someone go, about allowing them to seek their own happiness, even if it breaks me. But then what happens to my beliefs, to the vows I made when we got married? I promised to stay by her side in sickness and in health, and those words weren't just a formality to me. I still believe our marriage can be saved, that we can find common ground again if we work on it together. The problem is, I don't know how to convince her to even try. I feel like I'm at a dead end. Time is passing, and every day, I feel the gap between us widening. It seems like she's already made up her mind, while I'm still holding on to our history, our memories, and the love I still feel. Maybe I'm being naive. Maybe I'm just afraid of change. But as long as there's even the smallest glimmer of hope, I'm not ready to give up. That's why I decided to write here. I need to understand. Is there a way back? Are there stories of couples who have come out of such dark periods stronger? Or am I just fooling myself by clinging to an idea that no longer matches reality? What do you think? Is it worth continuing to fight? Or is it time to admit that sometimes love isn't enough to keep two people together?